Yo, ebusia, mine wonim dia ekoso ewo na watchwe mu aye insutomre a insue toya to ese amanfo enyama na ye mampeni akọ inspection ewo emiaye bi a ensuo no ato a ejiri ase amanfo enyama papa na omampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wachre nsemibu ama mine wo a ebusia mepese mine wo yekohwe esanse nsem o kan no adesua papa ewo mu a ekire se nyeme bia akoso a ama nsutoi a eyiri esa manfo nyame wa kire mu de amaye ena na edi kan so a wo hwe Prima TV amesra wo se obe subscribe de ama me se be ya bishop me de fufuru bia ba obenya wa adesua na wo so wesua bi na abo amanfo nyina subscribe like page no na chema obi biara na ye mfaso ewo insutome ya insu ese amanfo nyama eden pa na afe ye mampeni eka wasemi ebusua enso ya atoi wo hwe emiaye bia ensuyi asese nyama hwe enso ye da menchensesi eye enso ye toyi na according to record afi ye mampeni no so kire se enso ye enso bia for a very long time no na enso bi say entoda enunti na twa se ewo se oba abonten na ochire nsem bi mu emaye na afa ye hwe se enso ye to ekrapo no efre infa eba ne sen ena afa ye time we ana ye mmiri we mu no enso bi ti eyiri sei baby a wadwene endwene sei bia enso befa no eho na sesia no ensuo no enamo wo hwe we mu nyina eya de bia adesua kese bi pa ewo mu a mene wo eba betu yebo hwe enso ye to baller eni nam so we mu na ye bisa se gates eni honomo ana na se gata honoma eba ne sen ena afei ensui eyiri wo hwe baller ye hwegu ensu we mu a ebusua ugi di pass eye wan infomso eya mpre bebre beka se eye aban but ye ba behua de bi enwe biasa infomso no efi ba ye enu ti ye beto ye bo dia omampeni okaye no after se wako inspection no ordinance bi tu etodwa de ma menewo ye nhwemra ye ba adesua wo mu no menewo ebeche na ye hwa fefe ye nhwemra sesia.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo are looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day. And so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June. And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between 2 natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, you know, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste instead of sending it to the appropriate place. We, even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground. And they,
yo inti ebusua dia ye mampeni o chene nyina ne se ensu ya toy ye tututu ensu a ato a etwemu a dia etoto nansen anu ye hye echen dia ye witness sesie ne nyina ne se ye hwe the height and the volume of ensu a eto ewo emre etwemu a ye hwe the volume of it a eya na normally ne da 56 the height of it but nansen dia toy daily no yetumi hu say the height of it no eda 114 the height and the volume of it no eda 114 na che say abibia no ensuro no to a eyiri ebro dia atodada no so na ye hwe say identical na san hwe we etumi yiri say mfitiase no o kire mu say akra ye fra na akra na nkasa no eye kro kitu ebi o asa akro no ensuon kese mienu bi na eda ni benku ene ni infa ne nyina baako efri ekuapem epipo no so na afi so ensu ne fi ho no ma eyiri saa efa bebia akra na ewo no ma ye titimirem kitue bi no efa ho kakra bi ewra epuno mu sesi amenu ka sei ye mampeni kire mu se sesi ano ye penifo eba ye from British fo no wo mo ye o ma dwen se wo mo the capital city no eba Accra ankasa enum no mo de baaye no ebesi Accra no ewo ho no ma ye from the capital city no ma afei enu kwapon fitase no na oha oni ho no mo esanse na amanfo endorso ba afei amanfo ewowo afei amanfo esisi dan no ekwan afei senso yiri anka bia be fa so akọ epuno mu no ho na amanfo sesia no omusi omodan ewo no mu enu ti se ensu ni yiri na se ba enya kwan bia emfa se amanfo dan omesisi no ewo sa afei ebore mu na afei esenyoma na we na obisa se eye wan infum so eye engineer ni fum so ana ye nipa no ye fum so obetua so akere bebi ewo kwan betumi afa so aso anemo moma ye ntie de atua so embra
into the wetlands, and when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels, but at the same time look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times. I'm tired of hearing it, but anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite a major issue in order to resolve the problem of Accra. But ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city, instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra to build. So, but that's a long-term solution. Like I said, it's a 20-year project. They are still working on the designs. Once they do that, we'll demarcate. People can start buying plots. If they like, they can start building houses. We'll do the roads, bring the water and electricity, so that it eases the pressure on Accra as a city. But I just want to express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've seen many of the videos where people had to be carried out of their houses. They deployed their boats, and they helped to save quite a lot of lives. NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude and let us find a permanent solution to this Accra flooding problem. We shouldn't become like the vulture who, anytime it is raining, he says as soon as it stops raining, you repair his roof. And then as soon as it stops raining, he says, oh, it has stopped raining, so there's...
In some way, man, penny or chirmin say, a do time I was a yetinase, ne de pay a 2 years, send a beya in Shia a toa, mostly Accra, a senyamano, Nina, a subetra. And when or say, or Barbe Fred, National Security Council, meeting Bipa, now if you are Fred, Works and House Ministry for say, or Mombrano Montanase. And now, what to say in Shui, a yiri etiaso etchin seno. Or no your man penny, or say we are not coming to break buildings. Tien you, or say we are not here to break buildings. We are here to clear the way. Senebe ya, and soon benya ne kwai afaso na akora epunumo. Some time ago, no, you see demolition be a koso. Where are ye kay, and yet demolish kekeo. Or say we are not here to break building. Baby dono. I was say afe ensure kwanya anka also fasono ye ba be dwiri sa kwani nyina sene beya insutobi to a ankofa oyene bi sene beya ensure ankasa benya no kwan akọ epunumu na aye sene ete sene atitimrem no ade nete no enti mesrɛ se wo baby a eye water log wa wonim se baby awo no why your property be wa establish bibi wo no mo a mesrɛ se enimunimu ya no to one am wesan say enche o mapene say oba be dwere nyina egufemo ade ba ko so o kind say otumi hu say Accra aye so congested enunti de oba be ni say obi aso na say bia oba be bibi o Accra na afi obesi ni dan bi e wa Accra enunti Accra aye congested dia oba be yinyume bi efi Accra akọ regis ni mu bi se ne be ya amanfo enfo mani ensi Accra ye sori pe yesi ye kwa Accra from the north to Accra from the west to Accra from baby yesi Accra or say oba be nyume bi a ema amanfo eni ewoso enu nti omba Accra no oba be ni nyina efi ho no mu bi na ode bi so akọ other regions se ne be ya amanfo betumi akọ no mo na Accra enhyeda enye baby a amanfo be dọọso na enso yide a ense amanfo enyama ode yakoso ama obi biara ade atonani ana watwede bibi ewo enso ye to yeso mesra wo se mefutu kakra me de mawo ne se onim se wo oto asase enfuso kakra ye nyae no so se amanfo tumi eto asase ema nkrofo bi onim se ehanomo eye bibi a enso to a eyire ese amanfo nyama na ya bopa ama abobo ya afo se omunsisa bola teniyo bebia enso to a eyire no a obi ko no ma ontumi nsini da onye bebia no na afi yasi abobo ya afo ensisa bola embegu sadi bi ho no mo enu nti omudi gu ho na hipiko sra na afi yasi abobo ya afi menfe bola mba biom na ye de ahwea ene mobegu so na afi ehwa da opefe na ya sate eton emma enkrofo ye pamocho suba we suben bia omampene se de ekoso no eye indiscipline aye mankasa no timemfo no ye na ye kose ade no we eye engineering fault bia o eye yankasa ye bola edigugo temu woni mi se enhwe beto na afi watu wobo wasisa bola egugo temu bebia ye sidan wo na we ko sidan e wo no enu nti die no pese enhwe no ye enhwe bebra etwa ye nwahia no dudon bebre no womo ye ensu a ye ne bosun bebre etititimu a womo eyomo adwuma enu nti se opese wo ho ma adwene wo be ha ya adwene so nti ebesrem we ni efutu kakra me de mamo nyina asem ma yenhwe ye wunye ensu no so beto wo pie na se wonim se wo check weather ana wo ti wo radio so anawhwe TV na yɛsin so no beto na nka be ya mempie enko bebia se be na se bia wo maskon be kono mo echire na se bebia okono enso to bi to a ebe ha adwene a ma wo ma embel mom ko school wo mo twen kakra ensa hwe se bia oba beko a obeti se wo adwuma mu yese oba enso afana ko bebi ase ne bebi anai bia wo den bi ye besere mo ha aye primary TV ye di foto nsem we e de ma ye nyina ase ma ye hwe ye wonye se na be ya enso eyiri a aha ye na adwene bo ma ye ntie na ye mampeni so de ode atu ye ne mo so ye da mo nyina ase ye foforo ade beba de nyina ye sua ade wo mu nyame nka ye ho bye bye.